Hello, everyone. This is an impromptu Facebook Live that I'm doing. And I'm doing it because last week I had the chance to moderate this panel on early career professionals, for early career professionals, on how to navigate your career journey. And I am a professional coach, and I tend to coach people a lot, early career professionals, mid-career professionals. And this panel that I led on early career coaching really hit a chord with me because it made me realize how much early career professionals and middle level professionals and even professionals who are probably 15 years out in their career, how much they don't know. So I wanted to share some tips for people that are early on in their career. And I share this being, I probably have close to 18 years of experience in marketing and communications. In the past 6 years, I've been laid off twice. And I've had to kind of reconfigure what my career journey looked like. And I was realizing a couple of weeks ago, and I shared it with my best friend, I would have been so much further in my career had I known some of the things that I know today. So for people who are early on in their careers, or for people who have transitioned and you're probably about a year to 3 years out, maybe 4 years out in your career, I want to just share a couple of tips with you. First thing is always keep your resume updated. You never know when someone's going to reach out to you, and you don't want to be scrambling when you have an opportunity for a new job to try to remember what you did at your old job. A mentor gave me this piece of advice once, and even an HR professional. From the first day of your new job, update your resume with the roles and responsibilities of your new job. Because what you'll find is that it may be 2.5 years later and you're trying to apply for a position and you're looking for that old job description. So as soon as you start a new job, update your resume. Second thing is learn to manage your brand online. People may not think they're a brand, but you are a brand. Even if you're 2 years out, 3 years out, from your LinkedIn profile to your Facebook profile to your Twitter profile to whatever you have, update your social media. Update your brand. That all takes part of your brand. And I was at the NAAHP conference last week, and one of the things one of the speakers shared is that your brand is what people say about you even when you're not in the room. So whatever you want to be known as, even if you're early on in your career, make sure that you begin to set the tone and the messaging. So if you want to be known as, the innovative engineer who's all about new tech, and this was me just making it up, from your LinkedIn profile to what you share on your Facebook to the stuff you share on your Twitter feed, make sure it aligns with your brand, because all of that comprises of who you are. The third thing I want to share is if you are a professional and you do not have a LinkedIn profile, shame on you. Get a LinkedIn profile. Get an updated photo. Don't use a photo from when you're on vacation with your boys or when you're with your girls and you cropped out and everyone can see the ocean in the background. That makes sense for someone who's probably, maybe a travel blogger. Totally makes sense. But if you're not a travel blogger, find a decent photo and find an up-to-date photo. Even if you have to use your camera, use the back wall in your bedroom or somewhere in your home or in your office, just take a decent picture and upload that to LinkedIn and keep your LinkedIn profile updated. The other thing I want to say is that depending on what industry you're going in, research your industry. Understand the corporate pipeline for your industry and what it takes to advance in the industry you're in. Like in corporate America, there's line positions. Line positions are positions that have to do with the profit and loss of the company. They're positions that focus on the core business of that company. If you are not in those type of positions, you will be overlooked to advance to executive level roles, right? And there's also staff roles. These are roles that support the company. So they might be in legal, they might be in HR, they might be in IT and communications, but you just really need to know, once you get into your company, what does the pipeline look like if you want to move into an executive role? And once you know that, you want to kind of align yourself, and hopefully if you have a great manager, they're able to help with that. If you have a great HR person, they're also able to help with that. Get a mentor. It's so important to have a mentor, and your mentor doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's in your exact field. They can be an entrepreneur that you admire. They can be someone who's progressing in other areas of their lives that you admire. And this is something that I knew and that was shared on that panel, but you can have multiple mentors. You can have a mentor for your spiritual life. You can have a mentor if you're married, a marriage mentor. You can have a mentor for business. So there's different mentors you can have, but you also need a champion, right? A champion is someone that once you're in your company, if you want to be able to navigate the corporate culture, every corporation, every industry you go in, every business you work in has a corporate culture that you have to figure out. And if you think that just doing great work is going to move you up the corporate ladder or get your promotion, sadly, I'm sad to say that it won't, because I'm one of those people that worked hard. I kept my nose down, my nose in. I stayed late in the office and I didn't get promoted because at the end of the day, people didn't see me, right? So get a champion, and a champion isn't someone like someone from our panel last week shared. It isn't someone that you seek out. They tend to seek you out, right? So I want to do another Facebook Live just on what it means to have an internal champion, because they really help to navigate your career once you're in your place of work. The other thing is keep your resume updated. I shared in the beginning, and I'm going to share it again. I used to do a lot of resume writing, and I don't do it anymore. But for some reason, people would always reach out to me like a week before they had an interview or 3 days before they had an interview because they hadn't kept their resume updated. And it takes more than a day to turn someone's resume around, right? You need to just research the lingo the industry uses and all that. So I encourage you, even if you're not looking for a new job now, keep your resume updated. Let your manager know your career goal. One of the ways that you advance in your career, whether or not your manager is, one that is championing for you or not, it's important that they know where you want to go, because it may help with how they allocate work to you. So if they know that you want to move into this role, they may put you on this project or do those things. So I encourage that. And my personal recommendation, this is my recommendation, people may differ on that. To me, if you're at a company for going on 3 years and there's no room for advancement and you haven't been promoted, start looking for a new job. Start looking for a new job. If you're at a company where they pay for tuition reimbursement and you can get a certification in something, milk the company for what you can while you're there, because they're milking you for what they can while you're there. You're getting paid to do a job. So I encourage you, take advantage of the tuition reimbursement. And the other thing that I want to share that I don't think a lot of people take advantage is get to know the administrative staff and the at your company. A lot of times when I've worked in marketing and marketing for 15 plus years, and I've had to meet with senior level people, whatever it may be. And the people I appreciate the most were the administrative assistants, because they knew what was going on in their office. If I need to get something done, I would go through them. So even at your corporation, whether it's the woman at the front desk, whether it's the admin assistant to the SVP or the executive, whatever it may be, get to know them, because they'll be able to have inside information that you may not find from anyone else. Just because you may not be in the know, you may not be in that network to find out what's going on. So get to know them and network outside of your company, because when you start looking for work, the people that will help you will be the people that you've met outside of your network. So if you're in nursing, you should join a trade association. If you're an accountant, join a trade association. If you have an MBA, like I'm part of the National Black MBA Association, attend their conferences. I'm also a Haitian professional, so I'm really big on the work that NAAHP is doing, and that's the National Alliance for the Advancement of Haitian Professionals. You go to conferences like that and you meet and you network with people and you get to know people. This way, when you're looking for work, you're able to reach out to this network to just kind of get your feelers out there. So I just want to be able to share those tips with you all this morning. I hope that you would share this video with other people. And if anyone has any questions on just navigating your career path. And I'm also going to do another video because in the most recent edition of O Magazine, there was an article on this new midlife crisis. And the new midlife crisis is a crisis for women. There are women in their late 30s entering into their early 40s who have reached, maybe they're 15 years out in their career and they got laid off. They're 15, 20 years out in their career and they're realizing that they're not where they want it to be. And there's an issue going on with that. So how do you start start over when you've been in a career for 15, 20 years and you want to do something else? Or how do you start over when you've been laid off from a position that you've been working at for years and now you realize that you haven't kept up with your skill set, or you haven't just staying on top of your game is really it. So I'll put up another video on that, but I really just want to share that all with you, especially with people, and I want to share it with people of color, people of Haitian descent, and anyone. Any of the tips I shared will work regardless of what nationality you are. But what I'm finding and what's a burden for me is looking that a lot of young people of color don't know these things. And again, I share this because if I had known a lot of these things earlier on in my career, I would have been so much further than I am now. And I am disappointed that there are a lot of things that I could have done that I didn't know to do, but now that I do know them, I want to be able to share them with you all. So I'll probably post something again next week, and I want to just start bringing people in who can just share insight and advice with everyone. So if you have a question, just hit me up on my IM, or you can email me at Anide, ANIDEJ, @gmail.com, or you can visit my website, www.overcomerconsulting.com. I am rebranding the company, but I just want to share that all. I want to share that with you all. So I hope that you all have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.